let's start this again. Start the camera. Okay, so the whole thing on YouTube, episode 1 through 9's out on YouTube. Working on the rest of them. There's a couple that I'm probably just going to do the audio with some I don't know, some cool pictures or something. Just because I didn't record it on video. Now, bear with me, because between doing laundry and everything else and all that stuff, I'm trying to be very consistent on at least the audio podcast, as well as then shifting that over to the video on YouTube. But that's what's going on. So what's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. Feeling great. Obviously, you can probably hear a little nasally. Some nonsense is going around, whether it's the vid, the flu, ear aches, throat aches, whatever the hell it is. Make sure you take care of yourself. Hydrate, plenty of fluids, vitamin C, increase that vitamin C. Take a multivitamin or something. And get out there and move the body around, okay? Circulate that blood. This episode, I want to talk about night school. And so I think I touched base on this a little bit before. Shout out to my buddy Vinny. I remember talking to him about it and then doing somewhat of an episode about the subject. But most recently, it's hit me, like my aha moment hit me in terms of for people that are in a certain situation that, you know, you're either at a 9 to 5 or some sort of corporate job, and you're looking to pursue either an entrepreneurship or a side hustle or something along that line. You know, initially I just didn't know. I'm like, hey man, it's cool that, like, for example, he made the decision to be in a corporate job, making good money, but there's still something that's lingering inside him that it's like, I feel like I need to do something more. I want to do something more. It's kind of cool what you're doing, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And again, we all have our journeys, but I feel like at the end of the day, we all want to feel a certain way, right? We want to have a feeling of freedom and expression and this type of feeling, right? So, and recently I talked to my buddy Vinny, who's a banker, right? And sort of the same thing. And his whole thing is, you know, he's happy with what he's doing. But again, there's something that's missing. There's something that he's passionate about, and he's passionate about acting and being able to present that himself as an actor, and also like help motivate people, right? So I feel like naturally a lot of us have that somehow, somewhere deep inside. We want to do something else. We want to be creative. We want to express ourselves. And I think we shouldn't limit ourselves, right? So my suggestion to Vinny, and the more that I see this cyclical situation coming up again, I start understanding it as night school, right? So like seeing it more as night school. And it's the same thing with the day trading. Obviously, for some people, if you listen to one of the previous episodes, wins over losses, you know, I've realized that in day trading, it's very much similar. It's my night school. And so the aha moment's like, hey, you know, you don't necessarily need to drop everything. Now you can, right? Not that you can't drop and quit your job today and then go out and start your business or start your passion and succeed in it and become, you know, successful in both, you know, health and wealth and mental and what you're feeling inside in terms of what you're providing for others or a service or solution. Not that you can't do that. And people have done that, and that's fine. But you can also take the night school route. And I think that's where it's like, hey, I'm in this situation right now. Let's say we're in a job or business, you know, or corporate job, something like that, where you are making money, you know, you're putting money in the bank, you're saving, you're paying your bills, and there's something else that's out there that's, or maybe inside, that's pushing you to go do something else. The thought would be to take that on almost as night school, right? Like night school, I don't think you necessarily have to go every day, right? And usually night school is like 3 days a week, maybe a little bit on the weekends. But the idea is to create some time for yourself to take it on as night school, something that you know that you still want to do, have to do, and if you do it, you're going to graduate and you're going to get X, you know, fill in the blank for whatever that means to you. And I feel like if you take it on that way, you can take it on in a way that you make these small incremental additive changes or additive scenarios or situations where you start learning, you start implementing, and then you start creating, and then you start moving around towards that path that you see yourself wanting to do or wanting to feel in terms of the expression. And I think for me, it's the same thing where it's like, at some point, if you get good enough and you spend enough time on anything, you become better at it, right? And fill in the blank. I'm sure if we give ourselves a second to think about what's something that you've spent a lot of time in, a lot of effort in, and you can consider it or put it under like, oh yeah, it's kind of like me going to night school because I did do this, I did the homework, I did the assignment, I did the extra, exercises, et cetera, and look what happened. Whether it's in job training or something like that, right? If you put the time, you put the effort, you educate yourself, and you continuously move forward on that path, at some point you graduate from night school, and then that can become your full thing, right? It can switch from, okay, now I was a banker, or I was at, in sales for this company or whatever, fill in the blank. And now I've spent enough time in night school that I graduated that I can potentially successfully make the transfer from, the job to now the passion. And the passion is now my full occupation, if that's something that you want to do. Or it can be a very successful side hustle that you can still do the corporate job or do whatever you're doing and still be able to, fulfill that other passion. And so I would say consider that, if you're itching to do something else, or you're itching to, or something inside of you is just like, man, I wish I could go do something else, or I want to do X, or I want to, I don't know, paint and act and, or create woodwork, like whatever it is for you, like you can do that, and I think taking on seeing it as night school and knowing that you're going to spend additional time. And I don't want to say additional time, because sometimes I think people get, discouraged when we think of that we have to do additional time, or we have to do additional things to see the result. Now, in the macro sense of things, yes, you're going to have to, and I don't want to say additional time, because the time is the same, right? You have 24 hours, so it's not really additional time that you're adding. It's just doing more with the time that you have, because if you do less or you do equal, then you're over a long period of time, you're not going to get to where you want to get to. So I would also encourage you, if you're going to take that thought of night school and move forward with it, don't see it as additional time. Just see it as that you're going to invest additional due, or you're just going to invest just an additional actions, right? Additional actions throughout the time that you actually already have. And if you stick with it and you keep doing it over a year, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a whole year, you're gonna end up having more opportunities, or just being more successful, or becoming better, and maybe even presenting yourself with an opportunity that when else it meets, or you guys meet paths or cross your own paths, or the opportunity presents itself, you'll be at a level that you can take that opportunity and actually be very successful in whatever that means to you, right? Fill in the blank. So that was the perspective, and that's what I'd like to share with you, and go back, kind of revert back a little bit to the conversation I had with Vinny, and then have the conversation that I had with Vinny. There are two, both of them were Vinny's, and other homies that I've spoken with as well, but those two particular really stood out, and I feel like that would be a good way to think about how to start pursuing your inner passion while still holding on the, or completing the responsibility of being in something that you may not be totally happy with at the time. And so that's it. So think about that. I hope that helps. I hope it brings a point of perspective for you, and just keep crushing it, guys. Keep crushing it. Keep moving forward. Remember, it takes patience, practice, and time, patience, and practice, however you want to see it or however you want to hear it. And it's also the raised awareness, right? Just raise your awareness like 1% every day around a certain situation or certain thing that you're doing. How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this? What's the emotion that's driving my action? What's the thought? What's the influence? And just keep doing it. Keep crushing it. Keep moving forward. I appreciate you guys always. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for listening. And we're going to keep doing this. This is a forever thing. Please share this with somebody. Take a link, take your favorite episode and share it with someone. We'd love to just keep growing and keep growing, really is what it is. Keep sharing these perspectives, the word. All right. Till next time, I'll see you guys again soon. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. Peace.